Adventures here, and this is a review for the flight to Japan and maybe tips for travelers who have kids. For us, it was definitely a challenge. We bought one seat for our oldest, and then our youngest was an infant in lap, so his ticket was basically free. And of course, we go to the claw machine near Don Quijote in Shinjuku, and like I said, I'm gonna give my honest review on all of that. So here are some snippets of the video, which I thought was pretty cool. They included Pokemon into the instructionals, so a lot more interesting than watching the instructionals for the United Airlines or other airlines in the United States. So I thought it was pretty cool. I recorded it a little bit so you guys can watch. Now to the food portion. Starting with our infant, we got applesauce, mashed chicken, carrots, rice, and water. For the child portion, you have meatballs, macaroni, tuna in the middle, ham, corn, cucumber, egg, bread and butter, chocolate, water, and juice. For adults, we have pasta, a pasta salad, some ham, mashed potato, a little tomato with some bread to go with your water. If you didn't like that, you had beef stew with rice, pasta with ham, some greens on top left, some noodles with soy sauce, bread, salad, and water. And then for the vegan option, I believe it was just some noodles with some fried tempura vegetables, which I thought was pretty cool for vegans. But if you would have asked me what the best food was, it was definitely the children's version of the food. The meatballs had more taste. The only thing that was good in adults that was like, oh, it was good was the noodles with the soy sauce. But other than that, Odin's meal definitely took the cake when it comes to taste. So like I said, it's just airline food, nothing too crazy, but the presentation is always nice. So sometimes when you fly with kids, the difficulty is keeping the children entertained. Well, ANA does offer some kid stuff. In this case, they gave us puzzles so our kids could play with, which I thought was pretty nice. But I would say the most definite, for sure thing to get, if you haven't already, is get the magnetic towels, the travel size ones. Because when we picked those up, it kept the kids busy for a good 30 minutes. Granted, you still have to play with them, but it kept my children very focused because, you can build different things, which is always a good thing to keep the kids distracted. And if you don't know what it looks like, I do a quick Google search right here for them. I do try to be courteous to other flyers, but with that being said, once the kids were entertained and once they ate, we let them go to bed, and Phoenix slept the whole way. Odin, he ended up sleeping for a good chunk of time too, until the last hour, and after that, I just whipped out the magnetic tiles and done. So here we are. We finally landed. The Pikachu Eevee airplane was nice. Also, the turtle airplane was pretty cool too. Yeah. Where are we, Odin? Japan, baby, Japan. So here we are at our location. The closest address I could get was the Claw and Tent one, but that one I believe is part of the store across from Don Quijote and Shinjuku. So I'm going to do a quick review of this place. Of course, it's a nice, clean place for this area, but the claw machines were rigged. As you can see, in all the videos they pick up, they drop. I'm pretty sure there's a payout, but the payout seemed extremely high because I've seen people go in there, play a whole bunch of times. After like 20 times, they still didn't win anything. So just food for thought. Now, one thing I will say about Japan claw machines is if you don't win this one, just go to another place, because if they have a prize that you like, more than likely a lot of other places will have it too, and every claw machine is set up differently. So there's going to be some where it feels impossible to win or is impossible to win. Then there's some that are a lot easier to win. So just make sure you leave and don't get too fixated on winning that prize, because more than likely it'll be somewhere else. So that's my advice if you're going to go claw machine in Japan. While these claw machine videos are playing, if you have any questions about the airfare, you can ask me. 2 years old and below get to travel for free. 6 years old and below gets to go on the subway for free as well. You gotta, but it's one child per parent. So just throwing that out there. From what I read, it's a parent has to match with the child. But like I said, no one was super picky about that. We went through just fine. So also the bullet train is also free for 6 years old and below. You can actually Google that. That's what we did. Both of our kids were free, so we actually did really well with the Shinkansen. Again, everybody knows that it's expensive now. With that being said, we did travel as a bigger group. So for the first week, it was my wife's mom, grandma, and then my friend, on top of my wife's friend's family. And then the second week, the friend's family went home first, and then we ended up with 5 adults and 2 children. And of course we did split off. I think if you travel as a big group, you got to be okay with splitting off, because everybody has their own interests. So again, guys, let me know in the comments what you did in Japan, what saved you money, and what could save other people money as well. For us, we saved a lot of money through the traveling because of the children's age group. I know a lot of people like to shop at the convenies to save money. But like I said, if you're traveling across the world, you might as well enjoy yourself. But again, don't get baited into like the rigged machines and things like that, unless you're just doing it for fun or content. So in this case, I'm doing it for content. I would have stopped after like the 3rd round, because you know, once you see how arcade is set up, that's usually how the rest of the arcade is set up. And of course, we'll do a couple of gacha machines. Japan has this weird thing where like they don't want you to record them, record the claw machine. So I did stop when they asked me to stop. So that's why there's gonna be some times where I'll just show the picture of the prizes that we won instead. So they do come out until you know. I do have some vending machine videos as well. It's just very hard to record and watching the kids. So you know, kids take priority. I did record when I can. And stay tuned. We will have some Disney Sea videos, some Team Borderless Lab videos, and some other things that you might run into. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. If you have any comments or any questions, like I said, ask me. I'll answer you. It's fresh on my mind right now. It is July 21st, 2025. So just note the time. If you do ask me a couple years down the road, I may or may not remember, but I will definitely try to answer as best I can. Thank you guys again. Subscribe, like, and we'll have more videos from Japan very soon.
Oh, you want to get juice?